Boys and girls, I know we started a new math chapter this past week that was a little bit more difficult than what we had been doing in chapters 1 and 2. So I want to review with you one way of adding two-digit numbers. It's a little bit different from what your parents and I learned when we were in school, and we're going to learn that way as well later. But what we want to focus on now is making a zero out of one of the numbers because zeros are easy to add. So let's take a number like 57 plus 14. You'll get to the point where you can do it in your head later. But let's just follow these very long steps that the book wants us to do, and the process will get shorter as we learn our math better. So 57 plus 14. Which one of these is closer to a zero number? And if you need time to think, just pause it. So 57 is closer. Okay, now we need to find out how close it is. And you may have already done this part in your head. We also are going to need to do something to the other number, to the 14. That's going to help us make a zero number on the other side out of the 57. So let's see. Our zero number is 60. You probably figured that out. So what do we need to get to 60? Well, we're going to add 3. And if we add 3 to one side, we have to take away 3 from the other side. Okay, so we're going to add 3 here and subtract 3 on this side. And now we bring the 57 down. We're not going to do anything yet. Let's break that 14 up. We know we need to subtract 3. And if you look over on the right side, you'll see that we have 11 left when we do that. So let's put the 3 and the 11 right there. Okay, so we've broken down the 14. Why did we do it? Because we needed some number to make the 57 into a 60. So let's go to the next step. Now we're going to add 3 addends, 57 plus 3 plus 11. What's it called when we have so many addends and we're going to put 2 of them together? Hopefully you remember that it's grouping. So we'll put 57 and 3 together, which we know is 60. We already figured that out, and you can see it on the left side in those blue numbers. And now we just have to bring that 11 down. And where did that 11 come from? It came from the 14, right? So now we have 60 plus 11. This is probably a little easier to do in your head than the original problem, which was 57 plus 14. But we're not going to do anything in our head yet. Instead, we're going to bring out those unit blocks, and we're going to put 60 into 1. And we know that the long ones are 10, so we skip count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 11 in the other. There's 10, and the little one is 11. Now what are we going to do? Let's move them over into that box on the right side. And if you just pause and count everything in there, you should have 7 tens, 7 long bars, and 1 little one. So 60 plus 11 is 71. And if you want to check it, use your unit blocks to do 57 plus 14. You'll still come up with 71. Let's try another one. Now we have 48 plus 16. Neither one of these is a zero number, so let's start the long process again. 48 is closer to a zero number than 16 is, but if you wanted to start with 16, you could. I think it would be a little bit more work, but it doesn't matter which one you do. So that we can turn 48 into a zero number, we need to do something to that 16. Well, 48 is going to, if we count by 2, we're going to get to our zero number, which is 50. And if we add 2 on one side, we have to take away 2 on the other. So we're going to add 2 here and subtract 2 on this side. Let's bring that 48 down and work on that subtraction. We're going to break 16 up. Can you guess what numbers are going to go? And actually, you shouldn't have to guess. All right, hopefully you said 2 and 14. Now we've got 3 addends. So what are we going to do next? We're going to group and bring that 48 and 2 together. And now we've made a 0. 48 plus 2 is 50. What are we going to put in this other pink blank? Yes, we're going to bring that 14 down. And then, just to be sure, we're going to take out those unit blocks. And I think you know how to set them up. 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and before you do anything else, make sure you've got your unit blocks in the right place. And now we're going to move everything over to the right side to get our sum. Here we go. And we should have 6 long bars and 4 squares. What's the answer? Okay, hopefully this is what you came up with. So 50 plus 14 is 64. 6 tens and 4 ones is also 64. And the original problem, 48 plus 16, is also 64. I know it's a lot of steps. It'll be even more steps when we get to the word problems. But believe me, eventually this is going to help you when we get to bigger numbers. And we're going to learn a shorter way much later. Hopefully this helped you. It was just a little review. Good luck on the homework, and I'll see you next week. The end.